The problem with Manchester United's recruitment in the summer was that we seemed to only analyse each transfer in isolation, from a micro point of view, without an overarching recruitment strategy that would factor in the macro. What I mean by this is that the United squad quite obviously throughout last season lacked pace, power, ball carrying ability and versatility. We signed De Ligt and Euro, who individually are both very good signings. Euro I think was massively overpriced considering his age, experience and the fact that he only had 1 year left on his contract at the time, but the fan base was certainly happy with those signings. However, as I pointed out in the summer, I would have much rather have Simakan and Branthwaite because overall as a pairing, I think the combination of their skill sets would have offered United a lot more. The reason people didn't want Branthwaite is because they thought he was overrated for the price, alongside his perceived lack of ball playing ability, but compare him to Euro right now, and I don't think Branthwaite's incisive passing between the lines is much worse than Euro's. He might even be a better ball carrier and his overall defensive game is better than Euro's at the moment, whilst he also has the pace and the ability to defend in space in the channels, in those 1v1 duels, with his ability to play off both feet also enabling him to play in any of those three positions across the back three, also having vastly superior aerial ability inside of the box as well. Now before I go into greater detail about what specifically this United squad lacks, a quick reminder, if you do want to check out any cheap good quality football jerseys, you can go over to dragonjersey.com, I'll leave it linked in the comment section and description below. They have a variety of different retro and current season jerseys, including all the Manchester United jerseys going back all the way to the early 90s. You can use code Atlantis at checkout for a 10% discount for a limited time, and you can also get 7 to 12 day delivery time as well depending on where you live, alongside a 30-day refund guarantee. But if you do want to check for any of the details, their contact details including their WhatsApp and email are on the site. So I'll leave that linked in the description and comment section below, and remember to use the discount code Atlantis for 10% off. So whilst De Ligt is a better overall centre-back than Simakan, the Frenchman's versatility would have been invaluable, either in Ten Hag's 4-2-3-1 or Amorim's 3-4-3, because he can play comfortably either as a centre-back, a wide centre-back, or as a right-back. Whilst De Ligt, even as a wide centre-back, doesn't have the ball carrying ability or the pace of Simakan, and so can't really offer a threat in possession joining the attack down the flank. And even when he does sit deep, he doesn't have the progressive passing of Lisandro Martinez. But also signing Simakan would have reduced the necessity to spend money on Mazraoui, because unlike Euro and De Ligt, we would have had a centre-back who could also be used as a right-back or a right-sided centre-back in Amorim's back three. But with Euro and De Ligt being added to Martinez and Maguire as centre-backs in the squad, United don't have any centre-backs who you could reasonably call hybrids between full-backs and centre-backs. Nor do we have someone who is competent enough on their left foot to be able to sufficiently fill in for Martinez if he was to get injured, as he has now done. And so now we have De Ligt playing there, who is naturally not angled optimally when he's receiving the ball, because he's facing inward, angled infield onto his right foot, and so he doesn't have the ability to open out play, receiving the ball on his left foot, his back foot, and then playing forward down the line. Now in the midfield, whilst I do like Agate, really and truly he should have only ever been a Casemiro upgrade, not a signing alongside him. United's central midfield is crying out for a ball carrier, with the pace to eat up ground on the recovery when running back towards their own goal. See, Agate is fantastic when he's jumping out of the midfield line to apply pressure further up the pitch, having exceptional anticipation to almost move a second or two before most central midfielders would have, and like a dog being able to catch the player receiving the ball unaware. However, when he's tracking runners running back to his own goal, or racing over to stop an opposition player driving through the centre, he just doesn't have the pace over longer distances to specialise in this phase of play. And this is why Amadou Onana over the summer was my preferred option. I wouldn't say he's much better than Agate in terms of his progressive passing or short bounce passes in congested areas, because I do think Agate is fairly good at this. But he is substantially more athletic, powerful and quick across the ground, and he's one of the best midfielders around at being able to race back goal side and use his long legs to put in a sliding tackle in order to halt a counter-attack, whilst also being able to use his athleticism in possession as well, when receiving possession and turning out of the pressure, and then being able to drive into the space in behind the midfield line press, with his aerial ability also being a valuable asset inside both boxes, and also in general when winning aerial duels in the midfield in front of the back line. If you're going for a ball winner, I think you need someone with greater utility attributes than Agate, and what I mean by utility attributes are essentially secondary attributes that the team as a whole needs, such as pace, physicality, ground coverage, aerial ability, ball carrying ability, and even goal scoring ability inside the box as well. Agate, whilst he is very good as a destructive ball winner in the press, he is quite limited in possession. not being particularly impressive as a progressive passer or a carrier, and all in all being one of those players who, in possession, you kind of just want to keep the ball circulating, rather than relying on their ball progression in the build-up or the middle third. And this is why I think João Neves at £60 million would have also been a significantly better deal for United than Ugarte at 42, because Neves has a much wider skill set, and specialises in what the United midfield currently lacks, which is athleticism and ball carrying ability. With Neves, as you can see from his FBref report over the past 365 days, you are still getting a high volume tackler like Ugarte, but also a high volume progressive passer and ball carrier as well. And despite his size, he's also able to hold his own aerially as well. If you're getting rid of Casemiro, you can afford to bring in more of a sole destructive ball winner like Ugarte, but if you're essentially replacing Amrabat and not Eriksen or Casemiro, then you need ball carrying ability, athleticism and pace for sure, even if Amrabat was to stay for that matter. Now United are stuck with playing Ugarte and Casemiro as a midfield double pivot, where Casemiro is a liability athletically over both short and longer distances, whilst neither Ugarte or Casemiro have the ability to drive the ball frequently and consistently through the centre of the pitch, which doesn't aid Bruno one bit, with him having to cover a lot more ground in order to fill the space to not leave Casemiro isolated, whilst also being forced to drop deeper in possession because he's a much better circulator of the ball and dictator of the tempo and overall ball progressor than either Ugarte or Casemiro in possession. And the same thing can be applied to Xerxes. He specialises in linking the play with his back to goal between the lines, but like Ugarte, De Ligt and Euro, he doesn't have that powerful ball carrying ability or the pace through the centre or in behind the back line that United's forward line currently lacks. Nor does he really offer much to a significant level other than what he specialises in, and I just think that makes him too limited. Ideally, if you could boost Xerxes' skill set artificially, you'd give him the pace and the ball carrying ability of someone like Matheus Cunha, allowing him to drop deep into the space behind the opposition's midfield line, receive an incisive pass and not just link play statically, but on occasion also turn and drive forward into the space. With the added pace, Xerxes would also then be a threat in behind the back line as well. And with someone with the skill set of Cunha, you'd also get increased goal scoring ability and aerial ability in and around the box alongside that. And so you can see how someone like Matheus Cunha has a far more complete skill set than someone like Xerxes. And that can also be applied to the Onana and Ugarte comparison as well. Now before I go any further, a quick reminder, I do have a Patreon. You can check out some of my unreleased articles. You can get a 7-day free trial, and I also have some free articles on there as well in case you just want to sign up as a free member. So I'll leave that linked in all the usual places, the eye above, description, comment section, and on the end screen after the video. The main issue is that if you're signing too many players over the course of a period of time who lack athleticism, pace, ball carrying and aerial ability, then eventually your squad as a whole is going to lack these attributes. But that's the issue for United. There's no overarching transfer strategy where players are signed based on a macro idea. It's all micro. Is this player good enough for a position in a Manchester United side? Yes. Is he the right style of player for that position? Yes. Well then they're signing for £40 million, without factoring in their overall skill set and trying to find an overall balance, not just by looking at the limitations of the players you are currently signing alongside them, but also how the squad will look as a whole. And so that's why, whilst I don't think every single signing in the summer has to be a quick, physical, tall ball carrier, United at least need some signings with those attributes, to improve this as a macro attribute in the squad. Right now we are seeing a clear move towards athletic and quick sides being able to completely overrun even technically superior midfields, with Liverpool showcasing this against City and sides like Newcastle prioritising these kind of attributes in their central midfield, with teams either looking to press you high up the pitch aggressively or sit deep to draw you higher up the pitch to then be able to counter the spaces in the centre. And if your midfield line can beat the oppositions in a 50 to 70 yard race, when you transition the attack quickly from the defence to the middle third into the final third, you're able to create numerical overloads as you get into these chance creating positions, which is why pace and power has to be prioritised, particularly for midfielders but really for every signing going forward. So let me know what you think of my theory in the comment section below, and if you do want to check out any cheap good quality football jerseys, I'll leave the link to Dragon Jersey linked in the comment section and description below, and my Patreon will be on the end screen now, so you can get a 7-day free trial for the articles or sign up to my in-game Instagram group chat.